Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live interactive web television. This is your own platform where you can engage with us as we discuss various issues. Just click on a participation button, come with us online and tell us what you think of what you're talking about. You can leave us your posts, your video comments and of course your tweets at #IndiaPostLive and @IndiaPostLive. All right. Today we are going to have a very short but informative discussion on the 3-day visit of Chinese Premier Xi Jinping to India. Now, what exactly did this visit mean to India? How do we see Indo-China relations, or rather Sino-India relations moving forward, is what we are going to talk about. First, let's take a look at some of the highlights, very basic highlights of the major agreements that were signed between the two countries. Coming up on your screens now, China is to help India in establishing high-speed links and upgraded railway stations. China will help in setting up industrial parks of electrical items, electronics goods and plastic processing in Gujarat and Maharashtra. China will also give more market access to India to products including pharmaceuticals and farm products. Now, you're aware, of course, that the visit of Xi Jinping coincided with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday, and he came to Ahmedabad, and certain very important deals were also signed. Now, what does the visit of Xi Jinping mean for Gujarat? Let's quickly take a look before I introduce you to my online guest. Okay, what this means for Gujarat? Gujarat is getting around 9,000 crore rupees of Chinese investments. Chinese firm TBEA Energy Private Limited is developing a green energy park at Karjan near Vadodara with 200 and 500 crore rupee investment. China Steel Corporation is setting up an electrical steel plant at the Dahej GIDC estate at a cost of 6,000 crore rupees. All right, so some big numbers there, and sounds like a very positive visit. But to throw more light on what it actually means for our country, I have with me Amirullah Khan, economist, a friend of India Post Lives. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to India Post Live. How are you?
Thanks, and interesting topic to discuss.
Great. Yeah.
My interest is also because I am on the board of the India-China Economic Council, and we've been doing this for about 12 years now.
Wow. Okay.
To encourage India and China's trade. In that sense, this visit is pretty critical. Yeah.
Critical, right? Yes, it was a very critical visit. Everyone was there. I think the whole world was looking at this. Two Asian superpowers meeting very cordially, though there was some eyeball to eyeball happening at the border, but the visit of the two leaders were cordial, right?
Not really. I mean, the cordial visit ended yesterday before, and yesterday and today was not very cordial. This whole border issue came up, and
yes.
It's a very serious issue.
Very serious, yes.
Because India and China share the longest disputed border in the world.
Yeah.
And there are hundreds of disputes that happen. For example, apparently in the last year, we've had some 400 incursions. So it is the relationship between the two can be called everything else but cordial.
No, but it was paradoxical, don't you think? I mean, on one hand, Xi Jinping is shaking hands with Narendra Modi, and there is this dance program and other cultural events being organized for him, and on the other, at the line of actual control, there is an incursion. It's very paradoxical.
It is, and it's particularly so for our Prime Minister, who's been known to be rather aggressive on his border policy. Yes. And so on. For him to suddenly be shaking hands and dining with somebody who's not stopping border incursions even as he's talking,
right,
was a very difficult issue to handle. And that's the China strategy, and it is a very tough one to counter, because China's been doing that. You see, on the border issue, it's very important for those of you who are listening in also. It's very critical to see that China has been doing this for a while now, of of occupying territories without going to war. It is a very clever strategy. So you will find China engaging in talks, in trade, but getting in and occupying areas that, for example, in India, areas that 5 years ago were Indian territory, clear Indian territory, are now within the Chinese border. So that's a tough thing, and that's a difficult strategic
It's a
issue.
dangerous thing. I would use the word dangerous.
It is, and it's going to be tough for the Prime Minister to address both these issues together. This 9,000 crore investment and
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, let's you mentioned the 9,000 crore. Let's talk about the kind of economic ties and the agreements that were signed. Now, New Delhi has been for a long time talking about the bilateral trade imbalance between the two countries, something that amounts to as much as $35 billion. Now, the agreements that were signed were about $20 billion over 5 years. Can you throw some light on exactly what this bilateral trade imbalance is really about for those of us laymen? If you can just explain that to us a little bit.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
there are two issues involved, and both these issues are important for everyone to understand.
Right.
One is that we are celebrating about 16 years of trade with China. To 1997, there was zero trade with China. Zero, absolutely. We didn't trade with China at all. There was this
Okay.
big debate whether we should allow China to trade with us. And after some time, in 1997, we said, yes, let's go ahead and trade with China. India-China trade started increasing. And about 5 years ago, China became India's largest trading partner,
Right.
larger than Germany, larger than the US, larger than the Middle East. And suddenly today we have a situation where more than nearly 20% of our trade is with China. Therein lies a serious problem, and that is we refer to something called the balance of trade, which
Right.
is export minus import. So you export X to China and import Y. And if Y is greater than X, then there is a problem. That is called a trade deficit.
Okay.
And our trade deficit with China is very high. What it roughly means is that we import from China roughly twice what we export to China. So we
X. So X is X and Y is 2X. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so the trade deficit is close to $20 billion now, which
Right.
means that $20 billion is the extra money that we give to China because of trade with it. Now, is that a good thing or bad thing is a separate issue. Trade deficits or current account deficits are difficult to handle. They cause fluctuations in currency rates. They have pernicious impact on the economy, on
Yes.
exchange rates, on inflation rate, all of that. So that's one issue. The second is Chinese investment in India. So, and this is where again there is a cause for concern, because when the Chinese president was coming, we heard all this huge news about China investing $100 billion in India. That was the typical China posturing, because China said that you've gone to Japan, Japan is promising you peanuts, we are going to give you $100 billion. In the next 3 days, that figure has come down to 20, and even that we are not very sure about. Of which we hear that about $1.5 billion is going to be in Gujarat. That's the story so far. So three critical issues. One, on the geopolitics, the border issue.
Yes.
On trade, the issue that India has a huge trade deficit with China, and on investments, where we are not yet sure about what China actually means when it says that we are investing $100 billion down to 35, down to 20.
20.
Nobody seems to know what the actual figure is. It might very well be, half of that. We get $10 billion. So it's something that we have to take very carefully.
So all these promises that have been made, China will help strengthen the railway network in India. Then this new route to Kailash Mansarovar via Nathula in Sikkim. I mean, all these things, pharmaceuticals, we heard about the tech park. Are you saying this could be dubious? Are you saying we...
No, I'm not saying. See, the Nathula Pass is an old promise. They have said that ever since 1962.
Contentious issue.
So that goes on, and we have that access in any case. Now it is a bad road, it's a poor warehouse, but that access exists.
Right.
the promise on railways is important.
Right.
What China saw was that a large order for bullet trains was slipping out of their hands and going to Japan. So it has jumped in and said, no, no, we have better bullet trains, we have bigger ones, we will help. We will help. What that help means? Well, it means that we will pay the Chinese and they'll come and make those trains. So it's not a question of help. It is that they are saying that with the Chinese, with the Japanese, we are also competing for that same business.
Right.
It's a big business because
Of course.
each bullet train costs more than $2 billion. So they are more than willing to do that. It's up to us on whether we choose the Japanese, the Chinese, or the French.
So what can we give them? They are giving us all this. What are we giving them?
Well, they are actually giving very little. What we are saying is that our big business. See, with China, what are the products that we can sell to them? The big sector which benefits if China buys from us is pharmaceuticals. So
Okay.
that's an important sector, and in that, if China indeed grants market access to our generics, then we will benefit greatly, because China is a big country. It has large health expenditures, and it will buy a good billion worth of pharma if that is open. We will also benefit if we do indeed get from China help with in electronics and radio parks and
the tech park,
industrial parks.
Right.
That's something that we will benefit.
Okay.
So it's really the market access issue. If that opens up, then it's good for us, and if we can get high quality train systems.
All right. So you are saying that it is the promises seem to be good, but what actually comes and translates on the ground is something we'll have to wait and watch. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and especially because it is China. China is a very difficult customer.
You can't trust them. Is that India should not or cannot trust China fully? Is that what?
Because with China everything is so mixed up. There is trade, but behind that trade there is a geopolitical struggle happening.
Right.
Till recently they were opposed to.
We've also seen protests in the capital regarding the Tibet issue, of course.
No. On Tibet they have been very clear. You see, Tibet is the only issue on which they have no doubts.
Yes.
There is no Tibet as far as they are concerned, and
Absolutely.
they are very upset with India for hosting Tibetan refugees.
Yes.
But on everything else, China is not clear.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, that was a very comprehensive and a very informative analysis that we had of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to India as far as trade, economics and the geopolitics between the two countries are concerned. I would like to thank Amirullah Khan for taking out time to talk to us. Thank you so much. I hope all of you have had things made a little bit more clear for you, as it has become clear to me as well. Please send us your posts, your comments, your queries and of course your tweets at @IndiaPostLive and #IndiaPostLive. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.